Vicinity FM 95.3 ó wà láyìíká rẹ̀.
Enjoy.
Friday is the key to unlocking a weekend of all possibilities. Beautiful morning to you right here. It's Friday morning. We say beautiful morning to you, Ocean State and Nigeria. Top of the morning. I'm OLUWAFUNKE and AISHA, and we're here again this Friday on Newspaper Review, where we bring you all the top stories on our dailies and also the details of some of these headlines. Do well to join the conversation this morning.
Yeah, good morning this morning. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God for another down. It's your program Newspaper Review, and do well to join us on our Facebook and YouTube at Vicinity 95.3 FM. I am Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay tuned with us this morning as we bring you details from our dailies this morning.
Yeah, we'll be taking top stories from Nigerian Tribune, the Punch newspaper, and the Guardian.
Alright, I'll be taking the stories from the Vanguard newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Nation newspaper for this morning.
Kicking it off with the Guardian, economy now stable under Tinubu, says Okojo. In Wiola, FG budgets fresh 3.8 trillion naira for third mainland bridge repairs. Insecurity costs Nigeria 7.17 trillion naira and wipes out 40% of livestock, reports states. Parties jostle for 16 seats as crucial by-elections set stage for 2027. NLC to picket NSITF PENCOM over alleged diversion of funds. Political parties to boycott Rivers LG elections. Prison overcrowding FG task public philanthropist on inmate decongestion. 2027 PDP chair apps on party loyalty as Tambuluwa tips ADC to defeat Tinubu. Umba commissions transport facilities lot Tinubu for subsidy removal. Military partners REA to power key facilities with solar.
Alright, this brings me to the Nation newspaper for this morning. Obi endorses ADC candidate in by-election. EFCC begins arraignment of 93 arrested at Obasanjo Library. Inflation drops for fourth consecutive time. Kwara monarch to indigents of community attacked by terrorists come home. Okonjo-Iweala give Tinubu credit for stabilizing economy. Subsidy withdrawal facilitator of development says Mba. Stability opens door for investment, says Eglon. First Lady Lord's WTO DGs $50 million woman fund. PENCOM 6 increase in federal government police pension contribution. And those are the top stories from the Nation newspaper this morning.
And I move to the Punch. On the Punch, FG settles 2 trillion naira contractor bills, plans 2025 capital budget spending. Government eyes $4.5 billion oil production savings. Tambuluwa fights back over 189 billion naira EFCC probe. Okojo-Iweala's position, outlook on economic sparks public political debate. Pension fund strike countdown begins as PENCOM Labour disagree. PENCOM reacts, NSTIF silence as Labour issues 7-day strike notice over alleged 40% pension fund diversion. PDP inaugurates 44-member zoning committee, demands Wike's total loyalty. Stinged operation, EFCC denies targeting Obasanjo, arraigned suspects today. Police crush armed robber operating from Lagos refuse dump. By elections, INEC deploys poll materials as parties end campaigns.
This brings me to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the front page, PDP kicks as Canadian court designate party, APC terrorist organizations. Pastor beats children for spiritual cleansing. Alleged 189 billion naira fraud. What I told EFCC interrogator, said by Tambuwa. Northern states pay poor pension. DSS grills Mahmuda terrorist group's leader. I watched toilets, bedrooms in Mushin to survive, said by the Falcons captain. Provide safety net for Nigerians, Okonjo-Iweala tells Tinubu. By elections, APC, PDP, ADC in show of strength tomorrow. Governor Imba commissioned 5 mega transport terminals, 100 mass transit CNG buses in Enugu. And those are the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning.
And now I move to Nigerian Tribune. On the front page, NXITF, Pencom Bird, NLC gives FG 7 days ultimatum. Nigeria's economy now stable, says Okonjo-Iweala. 24 hours to polls, confusion over candidates' fate amid security beef. Court orders INEC to accept SDP candidates. Conduct free, fair elections, ADC tells INEC. Kaduna government, El Rufai's coalition bicker over rigging allegations. We are ready on top of logistics, INEC. Notorious terrorist Torji remains wanted, yet to surrender. Defense headquarters. Enugu governor inaugurate 5 transport terminals, 100 mass transits with CX-19 buses. On health, new vaccine for 2 deadly cancers shows promise in clinical trial. And 2027, PDP calls for fairness, inaugurates make or break zoning committee. Obi of Onitsha.
Now from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, on the front page, states have received 7.1 trillion naira under current administration, said by Edu. Ibom air fracas. Airline operators lift live ban on Emerson. NLC issues 7-day strike notice over pension. NSITF fault. By elections, tension as INEC delivers sensitive materials. How modern life is rendering men in Qatar. Rivers local government polls. How SIEC gets voters register insists on August 30 date. Mark to Nigerians, give ADC a chance to prove worth. Democracy, don't undermine opposition parties. SNDLF cautions APC, INEC. Economy now stable under Tinubu, said by Okonjo-Iweala. Boko Haram, US okays $346 million and sell to Nigeria. And in sports, FIBA World Ranking, the Tigers move up 3 steps now in top 10. And those are the stories from the front page of Vanguard newspaper for this morning.
And now we'll bring you details of those stories in a bit. Please stay tuned.
Right on the mountain top, a baby was born, ready to take the world by storm. Welcome to our vicinity, 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha. In the state of the living spring. Right. Are you a business owner looking to grow your brand or launch your hustle for enhanced value? Vicinity 95.3 FM Ikejile, Ijesha, Osho State is calling on public and private establishments to advertise your goods and services with a wider reach in Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti, Kwara, Oyo, and Kogi states. Let's push your products and services to a new height. For more information on advert placement, partnership, or program sponsorship, please call Giwa on 081 12 499 685, 081 12 499 685, or OLUWAFUNKE on 070 6106 3557. We offer only premium services at Vicinity 95.3 FM.
Mo fọwọ́ sọ̀yà believe well that follow Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá.
Welcome back from that break. Now to the details of the headlines on the dailies 2027. Jonathan Peter Obi can return to us, both PDP. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has stated that while its door remains open to former President Goodluck Jonathan and Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, the party will not actively woo them to contest for the 2027 presidential ticket. Speaking with reporters in Abuja on Wednesday, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Ologunagba, addressed whirling rumors about a potential return of both political figures to the PDP. He stressed that the decision to contest is theirs to make, and they should be asked directly about their ambitions.
Now, from the Nation newspaper this morning, the details from the Nation newspaper this morning. Okonjo-Iweala give Tinubu credit for stabilizing economy. The Tinubu administration deserves credit for stabilizing economy. Director General of the World Trade Organization (WTO), Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said yesterday. She lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's sweeping economic reforms, describing them as pivotal in restoring economic stability and laying the groundwork for sustainable growth.
And PDP inaugurate 44-member zoning committee. Ahead of its 2025 elective national convention, the People's Democratic Party has just inaugurated a 44-member zoning committee. The committee will primarily decide on the zoning of key positions in the party, including which zone of the country will fly its presidential flag at the 2027 polls. The committee, which is chaired by Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, was inaugurated at the party's national headquarters in Abuja by the acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Demangam. The members were asked to ensure fairness, balance, and have the unity of the party and the nation in mind while carrying out the assignment.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, ASUP serves 21-day strike notice over unmet demands. The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASU, has given the federal government 21 days to meet its demands or face an industrial action. The academic union listed 13 demands it is asking the federal government to address within the period to prevent the closure of polytechnics and the monotechnics nationwide. ASUP said the government's failure to satisfactorily address the 13 demands could lead to the withdrawal of service of its members nationwide. The union said it took the position at its National Executive Council NEC meeting yesterday in Abuja.
And claims of Tinubu Yorubanizing Nigeria, not true. Daniel Bwala, Daniel Bwala, Special Advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Policy Communication. Daniel Bwala has dismissed claims that the president is Yorubanizing Nigeria, stating that such claims are baseless and not backed by fact. Speaking during an interview on Politics Today on Channel's television program, Bala described remarks by former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, as inaccurate and driven by personal sentiment. Some of the things he said Bala emphasized that President Bola Tinubu has never spoken ill of Lawal despite their political differences, and he urged the former SGF to draw a line between personal grievances and matters of national interest.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, Obi directs supporters to vote ADC candidates. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 elections, Peter Obi, has implored all his supporters to vote for candidates of the African Democratic Congress ADC in tomorrow's by-election. In a post published by his X page yesterday, the former Anambra State Governor, who is in romance with the ADC-led coalition, said his decision was due to the Labour Party having no candidate recognized by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on the ballot amid internal crisis.
Third Mainland Bridge rehabilitation to cost 3.6 trillion naira. Umeyi, the Minister of Works, David Umeyi, has disclosed that the rehabilitation of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos State will cost the federal government about 3.6 trillion naira, explaining that extensive underwater damage threatens the country's busiest bridge. Briefing journalists after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, Umeyi said recent assessments revealed several deterioration to the bridge's spars and piles, largely caused by illegal sand mining, erosion, and corrosion. He added that rehabilitation works are now estimated at 3.8 trillion naira, while construction an entirely new bridge would cost slightly less, about 3.6 trillion naira.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, OLUWAFUNKE Ashim donates 5 million naira to Kwara, the National Union of Journalists. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) chieftain and presidential hopeful Dr. Gbenga OLUWAFUNKE Ashim has donated 5 million naira to Correspondent Chapel of the Kwara State Council of Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ). He donated the money during its celebration of the union's 45th anniversary in Ilorin, the state capital. The PDP chieftain, who Abdulrazak Amzat represented, also received an award of excellence from the union. OLUWAFUNKE Ashim said he dedicated the award to the Nigerian youth and all victims of institutional abuse. He told his audience, which comprised journalists, civil society leaders, and political figures, that the award was not about personal achievement but also giving voice to those silenced by systemic injustice.
On by-elections, INEC deploys poll materials as parties end campaigns. The Independent National Electoral Commission has completed arrangements for Saturday's by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states, even as political parties and candidates intensified campaigns ahead of the close of political activities at midnight on Thursday. The National Commissioner and Chairman of INEC's Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumeku, said in a statement on Thursday that all logistics for the exercise had been put in place. With less than 48 hours to the opening of polls, the Commission reiterates its appeal to all those involved in the elections, political parties and their candidates, agents, supporters, voters, observers, media and security agencies to adhere strictly to the provisions of the law, regulations and guidelines.
Now from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, provide social safety net for Nigerians, Okonjo-Iweala tells Tinubu. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to introduce social safety net to protect vulnerable Nigerians from the harsh impact of ongoing economic reforms. Speaking to State House correspondents after a meeting with the President on Thursday in Abuja, Okonjo-Iweala said both the federal government and the WTO had launched a Women Exporters Fund to empower Nigerian women and boost their economic participation.
And still on the Punch, pension fund strike countdown begins as PENCOM Labour disagree. The Nigerian Labour Congress has threatened a nationwide strike if the federal government fails to return what it claims to be billions of naira taken from workers' insurance contributions. It also demanded that the government fill the leadership gap in the country's Pension Regulatory Commission within a week. The NLC accused the federal government of siphoning 40% of contributions from the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund into the National Treasury. The fund, which is financed by payroll deductions from millions of workers, is meant to protect them in the event of injury or job loss. However, the National Pension Commission argued that the contributory pension scheme remains secure and continues to grow as it kicked against claims of missing funds.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, ruling PDP kicks as Canadian court designates party APC terrorist organizations. The People's Democratic Party has dismissed reports that a Canadian court has designated Nigeria's two main political parties, the PDP and the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, as terrorist organizations. The federal government is, however, expected to issue a formal response today. Senior government officials told Daily Trust yesterday, describing the matter as an embarrassing development. Speaking to Daily Trust, PDP National Executive Committee NEC member Timothy Osadolo said while the Canadian court had a right to express its opinion, it did not make such claims factual.
Tambuluwa fights back over 189 billion naira FCC probe. Former Sokoto State Governor and Senator representing Sokoto South, Aminu Waziri Tambuluwa, has vowed not to be silenced by what he described as intimidation and blackmail following his release on bail by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC had quizzed Tambuluwa and detained him for a night over alleged 189 billion naira fraud. He was later released on administrative bail. Tambuluwa, who returned to Sokoto on Thursday to era's welcome from thousands of supporters, addressed the cheering crowd at his residence, pledging to continue the fight for equitable and democratic governance in the state.
So from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 2027 permutations, APC, ADC, PDP in show of strength as by-election holds Saturday. Voters in 16 constituencies across 12 states will tomorrow head to the polls for keenly contested by-elections, already seen as a test of strength for Nigeria's major political parties. The coalition-led African Democratic Congress (ADC), the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have intensified campaigns across the state, seeking victory in elections to fill 2 senatorial seats, 5 House of Representative positions, and 9 state constituencies.
And this is where we wrap it up on the program this morning. But let's take this. The FCC denies targeting Obasanjo arraigned suspects today. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has denied that the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, Ogun State was the target of its recent sting operation, in which 93 suspected internet fraudsters were arrested. The management of the OOPL had on Wednesday condemned the night operation and the arrest of guests at the guest house within the OOPL facilities, describing the operation as a calculated attack. Ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo and a stake on blatant violation of the rights of the people who gathered for the event. Thank you for joining us on Newspaper Review this morning. It's Friday. Go out there and enjoy your Friday. I'm OLUWAFUNKE Israel. Producer is Muji Olakunle. We also appreciate executive producer and general manager of this great station, Vicinity 95.3 FM. The person of Kolade Adekola. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you for joining the program this morning. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Go out there, make use of the day before the weekend comes in. Do have a great day. I'm Aisha Ibrahim.
State of the Living Spring, right on the mountaintop. A baby was born.